Okay, we'll be going live. We're going live here shortly. We are live. Okay, excellent. Let's start out with a little howdy, howdy. Howdy. Okay, we're back. All right, welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City Valley Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, what do I got for you? Well, this is some updates from our recent foray. Run to the coast, our annual run to the Galveston Fishing Pier to do some fishing. And what I want to do is just kind of recap some of the lessons learned, maybe talk about maybe some questions, comments, some things that folks may have as we go into the discussion. And then maybe there's some key things that we learned this round that other folks may find useful. Because our motto is learn to fish by our trials and errors. And basically, we're just a bunch of average Joes, avid fishermen, but average Joes. We are not experts, just, well, we get to play around a lot, and we do listen for other folks to know if there's a tip or two that may come in useful. I'm going to go ahead and take my headphones off. Okay, so this round, what I want to try doing is just give you a little recap of the things that were happening. And let me just make sure everything's posting correctly. It looks like it. Yeah, I got chat going. We got some video in the background to show you as need be. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay. All right, so let's run down the itinerary, the agenda. Okay, so some background from the Galveston Fishing Pier 2024 lessons learned. Been doing this about 15 years or so. And the key here is we make this run to the coast. And when we make this run to the coast, the intent is to get our saltwater fix in. And because of that, let's see, I think I'm getting some lagging in the stream, so bear with me. Okay, I think we're good now. Stream health looks good. All right. Okay, so we make this run to the Galveston Fishing Pier in, let's see, about 15 years or so, targeting redfish, black drum, some trout, be it sand trout, speckled trout, as well as sharks. All right, so that's the fun thing there. Normally, we start out taking 2 surf rods and some medium spinning rods. And since then, we've moved on to taking these 4 boat rods. In fact, I've got one here, and then a spinning boat rod that we also use in case we want to maybe switch from fishing the pier for bait versus fishing for these sharks and black drum that are out there. Initially, I also started out with the standard baits, be it shrimp, squid, and lime or mullet. We've since now moved on to using fish bites that then gets us the croakers, the whiting, the other bait fish, and we either fish them live or cut, and pretty much fresh bait out there. And yeah, so those are some of the things that we've kind of moved on to since we first started. The other thing is we used to buy a lot of commercial stuff off the pier as well as at the local bait shops. Now we've kind of shifted over and just make our own gear, specifically those leaders. I use a weed eater line leader. I haven't had a break off yet, as well as using this Malin wire. That has been a go-to thing for yours truly when it comes to fishing the coast. All right, and then well, let's just kind of capture a few things. And while that's going, let me go ahead and run a video in the background so that I don't bore you with just a talking head piece here. So I'm going to run it in the background, and from there, see if any questions, comments come up from what I'm doing in the video. But at the same time, I'll be just talking to some of these lessons learned here. So, but first, let me go ahead and talk about this video. Here I'm using a boat spinning rod. Okay, it's a rod that I picked up back on the Pacific coast years ago for the party boats when we're fishing for, I think it's like yellowtail, mackerel, and whatnot, and all these other fish and that use live bait and has a fast action tip. And what that does then is allow me to cast these light live bait, and at the same time, if I do get something big, I can still have the backbone in this rod to bring in the fish. And so I brought this one along this round. We normally were taking in some boat rods, some bait casting gear, as well as some surf casting gear. But I decided to go ahead and bring this one along just because it gave me a little bit more versatility between fishing with just a straight boat rod for bigger fish like the sharks and the black drum, and use this to target some of the smaller bait fish that we were targeting, as well as if I need to shift to something larger or if something larger bit, I can still bring them in. So here I'm just working under the lights, fishing for some speckled trout. There's a lot of sand trout in the mix as well, and we're working kind of closer into shore than we normally do. And then with that, let's see. While that's happening, let's go ahead and okay. While that's happening, I'll go ahead and let this video run, and I can if you see anything that you want to call out, just bring it up, and hopefully I can give that information to you. Okay. All right. So from a lessons learned standpoint, one of the key things to take away was we had 100-degree temperatures down there on the coast, and it got really hot, and you definitely wanted to make use of your time during those days, and so the tide charts and fishing the tides still came into play. We started doing that about 3 years ago, and ever since then we've been following it. What we've done in the past was we would just gut through and fish all day into the night and then get really tired. Next thing you know, we're burnt out. And so strongly suggest fishing the tides for that reason. To be sometimes the best time of the day to be fishing is actually at night. And so by following the tides, you're able to at least fish at the most optimal time when the fish are going to be in the area. There's water movement, and there's a good possibility of catching some fish versus when it's when you're fishing at the wrong time in this case, and you sit for hours at times with not a bite or whatnot. So highly recommend follow tide charts. That still came into play. Stay hydrated. We brought lots of water and ended up even having to get more water while we were there. Had some sun covering. We ended up having I had a hat as well as some head coverings, as well as arm coverings, and used sunscreen as well because it did get pretty hot out there, and you don't want to get sunburned. Once you're sunburned, you could be down, and we were there for pretty much 5 days fishing it hard. So I would say keep that in your back pocket to if you're going to be fishing there. Here, I'll stop real quick here. So here someone gave us some live mullet, and right here, let me go ahead and stop right here. So these mullet weigh about 4 or 5 grams, and while I was there, my bait caster broke that I was using for a bass Senko rod, and took it saltwater fishing. It could handle the saltwater no problem, but unfortunately the tip broke. Somehow it got messed up or whatever. And here what I'm doing is I'm putting a live mullet on. It's about 4 inches or so, and weighs about 4 or 5 grams. And let me stop real quick and shift. Okay, and so knowing what I know now, plan on the next round bringing out some bait finesse style gear that can handle the salt water. And my intent is, the reason why bait finesse gear is because I want to be able to cast something that is as light as one of these small little mullet, and be able to cast it for distance into the wind and into the waves, and allow me to still get a decent cast in and still be able to bring them in. So I picked up one of these. This is just came in today. This is the Shimano Corrado BFS XG, and I've been playing around with a 1/16 ounce rooster tail just on a short rod. I plan on getting a longer rod for it for the coast, but right now I am really excited right here, really excited that maybe I can cast one of these live mullet out into the surf area when I'm fishing under the lights and take advantage of being able to, well, take advantage of a bait finesse gear that can handle casting ultralight lures, in this case a light fish for distance and where the fish are lurking. So good thing here. So that's the big thing. And so let me take it back to the video here. Okay, so here I am. I'm just putting one on the line here, a little mullet. And what we also learned is if you are going to catch any mullet in the area, you need to put the mullet in the same water that you caught it from. If you don't, and you use water from another area from where you first caught it, there's a good possibility that it'll turn red. I think the belly turns red, and so what happens then is the at least the bigger trout will not want to strike it. So I am getting at least enough cast to get it out to the waves and where they're kind of lurking, and I can see the mullet kind of swimming through the surf, and there are speckled trout, sand trout, just kind of picking at it. We gotta bear with me here. Let me let this run. Okay, and I could see that they're just kind of picking at it, and hopefully I'll be getting one here that's a keeper size one. I ended up getting one that was a keeper 18-inch one. It's a slot limit here in Texas, so it's got to be 15 to 20 inches in length, and you get a maximum of 3 for the day. And yeah, here I'm just going to go ahead and rebait real quick and be out there again. And while that's going on, I'll go ahead and speak to the other things that we were doing there. So other stuff, this is the rod that I was using. Okay, it's got a Penn Pursuit, pretty heavy reel, and then a short, about 6-foot spinning rod with a fast action tip. It's the one that I use on the party boats in California to toss these little anchovies and get some nice sized fish with it. Well, turns out this will toss a mullet no problem, but it's still a little bit tougher than normal because I'm kind of casting in the wind. That's why I shifted over to picking up the bait finesse gear. All right, and see if I can use that going forward. The other thing is I want to be able to shift from fishing for, let's say, speckled trout and sand trout and whatnot, and shift over to maybe catching some of those redfish and drum. This was able to hold on pretty good. Florida, they don't let you use the treble hook where it's live bait. Yeah, I saw that. Luckily here in Texas you still can. So yeah, we looked it up while we were on the pier, made sure that we were still in the regs. But I do understand, because there was several times where I did have an undersized trout, and rather than try pulling it out, I ended up snipping the line, and hopefully it'll rust free here. So this is one of the undersized ones. They only had one keeper this round. It was an 18-inch speckled trout. The other individual that just showed us this, in fact gave us this bait, he ended up catching a 24-inch, a 27-inch, and both of them released. We actually helped them using the Pier net that we had over there on the corner, and he also caught one that was about 19 inches or so as well. Very nice. And that is again kind of why I'm shifting over to the next trip. I'm gonna take this Shimano Corrado BFS reel. I do have one, the Scorpion model, and I've taken to the coast using it for speckled trout and sand trout, but I was using tandem rigs, and tandem spec rigs and just kind of working under the lights, but I should be able to cast one of these little 4-inch minnows, no problem. I've already cast a 1/6 ounce rooster tail, and it can shoot for distance, and very, very, very small, compact reel. But I'm really excited to have it. I've already caught like 4 or 5 bass, and this is the first day I've had it. Fun stuff. All right, and then let's see. In the case of when we were targeting the sharks and bull reds, this is what I was using. A little bait caster. We actually had several other pen reels, but those were the level wind variety. This one is right there, has no level wind. I think this took the place of the old Pen 525, excuse me, that you can cast for distance. This one I can cast pretty far. It doesn't have much line capacity. Maybe 150 yards of this 30-pound test is what I have on here. So it's well, I did have one take my bait and almost take me down to the spool, and I couldn't turn them, but the line ended up snapping on me. So good stuff though. So I'll let this run and keep it going in case anyone sees any info that they want to throw out. And I'll just keep going over the other items that I want to touch base on for some lessons learned for fishing, at least the Galveston Fishing Pier, for our annual trip. I believe this is the 15th year now that we've done this. All right, so we're up in Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's about 5 hours to Galveston, and we make this run about every year just to go ahead and wet a line in salt water and see what we can catch. And we'll spend like 5 days over there and pretty much fish it hard. And some of the key things is, from a lessons learned standpoint, was fish the tides. Very, very big on fishing the tides versus trying to gut through some of the heat of the day, because we did get those 100-degree temperatures, as I said earlier. We still used fish bites. We used the fish bites to catch the bait that got the fish that we were actually targeting. A lot of croaker, a lot of whiting, some sand trout as well, some kind of other fish that I can't remember what it's called, but it has some yellow tail on it, and it's another one that works really well for some of the fish that we target. Let's see. Yeah, the live mullet and the treble piece, we picked up that, learned that this time. Normally what I've been doing is as I grew up down south, Port Aransas, Corpus Christi area, I fish under the lights using some fingerling croaker, small croaker, and I would use sort of about the same size hook that you'd be using for bass fishing, if you were fishing a worm and whatnot, and I would just fish it live and let it run through the lights, and usually I get some nice size speckled trout. But this one seemed to be a much better deal than just the croaker, and what the individual told me is croaker is good for day, night, go with mullet. So hey, lesson learned there. I'll go with mullet. All right. The next thing is, let's see, from the rod standpoint. So I mentioned we use 4 boat rods of this style that I just showed you. Went ahead and brought a spinning rod that I'm showing you in this video. That's also used in a boat rod, so I can do double duty and shift from using it for bait and then shift back to using it for bigger fish. So if I wanted to go ahead and rig it up for, be it shark or reds and whatnot, I could. I've got a commercial here. I'll let it run and I'll skip it here. Okay, there we go. All right. So that was key. I did bring my bass rod that I use for Senkos and ended up breaking the tip. And I think I just did a video on it and how I fixed it. Luckily, I was able to fix it using some Zap-A-Gap and an old insert from a other broken rod. Since I don't throw any rods away as they break, I'll tend to repurpose them as need be. Okay. Let's see, other things. The lock, spring lock swivels. Again, that was key. So you don't want to use the little snap swivels that just kind of clip in place. You want to make sure they lock in place. So if you get something big, you won't you won't lose it because of a failure in your swivel. I had 2 breakoffs this round, and it was a failure in the line. There was either an abrasion or whatnot to it, but I didn't have any failures from the leader, the knots, and whatnot. So that was good to know. The Malin wire continues to be a go-to one for us because yes, we'll catch some shark and whatnot with it, and we don't have to worry about the teeth and getting cut off with the mono. I did use this Dubrod haywire twist tool. What was nice about that was I could make them on the fly on the pier, even if I'm rushed. And I'll show you some of those here in a little bit. Let's see. Circle hooks. Here in Texas, you got to have non-stainless steel, non-offset hooks, circle hooks, if you're fishing for sharks. And so you always got to make sure, I always restock to make sure that I've got everything for these trips, to include that legal hook. So if you have any that have a little hook bend or a bend in it or offset, you can't use it. If it's stainless steel, you can't use it. It's got to be able to rust out in case he breaks off. The spider weights, aka Do It claw molds that I use. So I've got a Do It mold where I pour the lead and I make my own spider weights. It says claw sinkers on the Do It mold. Those work out good. I pour them in 2, 3, and 4. This round we mainly worked with the 3-ounce ones. We didn't have to go up to a 4. We didn't have to drop to a 2. It was just 3 just seemed to work really well. If you don't use a spider weight or that claw sinker, you can see in the video here you've got waves and whatnot. It's a sandy area and you just don't get the grip like you could with that same claw sinker or spider weight. So let's say you go with a pyramid weight, you may have to go 4 or 5 ounces, 6 ounces compared to using a 3-ounce claw sinker or spider weight, because it's got that extra things to grab onto the sand and hold in place. So that came into play again. That was good to have. Let's see, the boat rod, spin rod. Yeah, I'm liking that. I think next time we'll probably bring an umbrella. We found out you can't have one of those easy up pop up kind of tent like things or structures, but you can bring one of these umbrella style that kind of open and close like an umbrella, and that makes a big difference being in the shade while you're on the pier, because it definitely did get hot. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I gotta turn this one back on real quick. I just gotta shift over. Okay. All right. Okay. So some of the other things that I would say you want to keep in your back pocket. Let's see. Oh, the T-head. I didn't know that, but the T-head on the pier was basically 2/3 available. The other third of it, there was one part of it that was still being worked on. They had some trouble with one of the storms and whatnot, so it destroyed part of the T-head, so they had to close it down. And then they had a delay in getting some of the material, but I believe they should be wrapping up soon. If you look on Facebook, they'll give you the latest status on it. But luckily, it wasn't that busy enough to where it really got clobbered. But it was good to know that part of the T-head was not available to fish. Caleb Troop. Hi, Caleb. I caught a hammerhead shark off the coast. Nice. A hammerhead. Cool. Let's see. Other things. The double tides. We did have some double tides in this case. So on a normal tide, you'll have a low tide and high tide, and then back down to a low tide. Double tide, it'll be a low and then a high, or a semi-high, then it dips, then it goes back up again. And that's kind of weird because it's kind of, you got to play it by ear and whatnot. And it could mess up your timing for the day. So one days we would come in, fish that tide, and go through that double tide, stop for the day, and get ready for the evening tide. when we shifted back to the tide that we normally used to, we could fish a whole period straight without having to leave. But luckily, we got the Pier passes. They're open 24/7, so we can make some adjustments as need be. Let's see other things. Okay, short shift length. Length of the pier. Don't forget to shift on the pier. What we did was after we were trying to catch on the T head, you could always just kind of walk the pier in the daytime. Have polarized glasses. At night, just kind of look through the waters and whatnot, and just kind of see what's lurking about. And here is where I was just walking the pier in this case, and I came up to one of the lights. No one was fishing there, and I saw some speckled trout, sand trout moved about. And then later on, I saw some nice size speckled trout. I mean, big ones, 20 plus inches easily, kind of lurking through the area. And the person that ended up helping us gave us some tips and actually gave us that live mullet. Ended up catching 2 of the nice ones and caught and released them. So it was good to see that, and seeing someone veteran on the pier being able to share some of the lessons that they learned and we picked up on it. So hey, we're gonna do that next time. Only thing different is I'm gonna be using that Shimano Corrado BFS reel that I picked up. Kind of like that. I think some new folks joined, so I just want to show it again. I mean, okay, so I've got the Scorpion. Here, let me stop it real quick. Okay, so here I've got the Scorpion BFS XG, Scorpion 17, and I went ahead and got one of these today. It's the Shimano Corrado BFS XG, and I've been pretty happy with it. And I've been casting this 1/16 ounce rooster tail, and it's working really good. Feels just like the Scorpion BFS XG. Just it's a little bit smaller in the overall size. Fits really nicely in the hand with this trigger style grip. I'm just using a repurposed microcast Shakespeare rod here, but I do have a 6-foot rod that's made for casting some ultralight lures, but I believe I'm going to be kind of looking around for more of a medium light rod to pair with this, with about maybe a 6-7 footer, because I plan on using it to cast these live mullets. So probably over the course of the next few months, if not throughout the next year, you'll probably see me in and out with this thing, fishing initially with some ultralight lures, and then later on I'm gonna try doing some live bait with some minnows and whatnot, and see if I can get that cast in that I'm gonna need when I'm fishing back over there on the pier, working the surf area. So I'm hoping that, hey, I can educate my thumb and get proficient enough that I don't get too many backlashes, because yeah, I've been fishing different bait casters and whatnot, but yeah, it's true. I get backlashes, but I did take it out today, and I probably caught about 4 or 5 bass. I think there's an earlier mobile live stream that I posted where I'm out there fishing this one here, and you can see some of the catches I had. I was gonna go longer, but unfortunately it was 100 degrees or so here, and my phone overheated, so I had to cut the live stream short. But I did get a couple of nice sized bass there, at least for that pond, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this. I'm really happy with this purchase. All right. Okay, so the other rod that I was using, that we used for catching some of the black tip sharks, was this one. It's the Penn Squall 2. I think it's the when they retired the Penn 525 mag, they started coming out with the Penn Squall 2. It doesn't have a level wind. It's all just old school. Use your thumb and cast it out there and pretty much take it down 100 yards easily with some of the casts that I've done with this thing. All right, but I have it on a 6-foot boat rod. Okay, and what's nice about it is you get a good sized fish. Not had any issues until this trip, where I could always turn the fish. Could always turn the fish, be it a black drum, a stingray, a redfish every single time, even upwards of a 4 foot wide stingray. I was able to bring them in, except for this trip. I had one. He initially struck, and you could hear him take the line, and it was a surge, like 3 initial surges, and then after that it was just a steady, I'm just gonna go this way, and then I'm gonna go this way. And so I worked him to the end of the pier, or end of the T head, got kind of parallel to the beach, and I was getting ready to fight him like I did with the stingray from last year. And when I went back to start doing a deep pumping motion, my line snapped, and I suspect I had an abrasion on here, because I did, well, I should have replaced the line from the year before, but I didn't. I went ahead and just washed it and just kept it. But guess what? I replaced it now while I was there. Actually, I replaced both of them, and now they're ready to go again. They're casting much nicely, and you know, I even forgot that it had the magnet brakes on here. So when I tried to tweak it there, I was able to get back that thumb education that allows me to cast a lot further than I was initially. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see, if you guys have any questions, comments, and whatnot, certainly bring them up. Let me go ahead and take us back to the video so you can not just listen to me talk, you can see some of the action that's happening while I was on the pier. Okay, let's see, other things. Let's see. Okay, so there's a restaurant on the pier. It's called Jimmy's Pier, and it's Jimmy's Restaurant, okay? And the owner, his name is Jimmy. And they open till 10, and we fish sometimes we fish the whole night. And yeah, I ended up pretty nice that you could have your buddies or you go up there and get us dinner real quick. We can continue fishing the pier and not worry about missing a meal or whatnot. I mean, in fact, we didn't eat as much, but usually we have at least one big meal. And a couple of times when we fished basically 24 hours, and having that available made a difference. Okay, other things. Let's see. Oh, I did lose my trolling bucket. I have this trolling bucket, bait bucket, where I can put shad, minnows, and whatnot. It's got holes in it, and I could throw it over the side of my kayak or boat, or throw it over the pier and let the water run through it and the fish stay alive for days. But unfortunately, I used the wrong knot, and it came loose, and I ended up losing it. So I'm gonna have to go and purchase that one again. But luckily, I had the bait bucket with the aerator with us in this video, and you can see that keeping those live bugs alive. Only big thing is in the daytime it gets really hot, so keep it under the shade. We've got a pier cart, so I kind of push it there, keep it out of the sun, and every once in a while change out the water. You can definitely feel the heat and the warmth of that water as the day progresses. So you definitely want to keep close tabs on the temperature in your bait bucket while you're there. Okay. Pier net, it's the circle one that we use, that you can drop down. That came in handy. We used to help someone bring in a nice sized black drum, several nice sized speckled trout, and then several sharks, and then ended up bringing up one of the cow nose. Actually, there were 2 cow nose stingrays that were caught by us and then another individual, and we used that same pier net. It's this big circle one, all right, that you can drop down. The hard part is just guiding the fish into the net so that the other person working the net can bring them up. So keep that in your back pocket. Bring a pier net, and you'll see in the video kind of off to the side is it secured in place. We ended up having this Velcro stuff that I had that we were using to help secure rods, as well as secure the net, so that everything was there at a moment's notice. We just kind of ripping this Velcro strap and get it, well, being able to get your gear fairly quickly. on the ground there, you'll see that I got some spec rigs, some bait rigs, some popping corks and whatnot. And you see them on the ground, and you just see me using this one treble hook and no other material on it. It's basically a line, the hook, and the live mullet. And this is what we discovered what you want to use when you're fishing under the lights. Okay. And I suspect if I get a nice size shrimp enough using this bait finesse gear that I'm going to bring next round, I should be able to cast even a shrimp and work it under the lights without any popping cork or without any other weight or material, so that I can keep it from spooking anybody. All right. Okay, other things. Let's see. Yeah, there was some good information provided by this one individual who it was a wealth of knowledge, and I was able to take away several good key tips. One being the line mullet, when you catch them, use the same water that you caught them from. Don't use a different water when you go to where you are going to go fishing, because the salinity is different and it may turn their bellies red. And the trout don't want any kind of unnatural looking thing, especially those big bruisers. So we were watching them. I think there's another video where I'm just standing there and the individual is just casting these 10-inch, 12-inch live mullet to these big speckled trout. And they're just kind of lurking in the shadows, and they'll come in there and just kind of tag at it. And he ended up catching a couple. And that was pretty cool. And he gave us this live mullet too, so that was even cool of him too, that we got to practice what he showed us how to, and well, I'm hooked. I'm going live mullet next time. So I'm gonna bring my casting net. I'm gonna bring a live a bucket basically with the aerator in there, and I'll be ready to rock. And by then I hope I have my thumb educated enough that I can use this bait caster that I like using, meaning I've got one already that I could use, but hey, another excuse to go buy more gear, you know what I mean? In this case, I do love this little reel so far. It's impressive. Okay, I think it does just as well as the Scorpion that I got. So here, I'm talking, and maybe I need to show you instead of just talk. So bear with me. Okay, I'm back. Let me pause this real quick. Shift over to the other scene. Okay, right here. Howdy, howdy. Okay, so this is one that I've taken in the past to the coast on our past trips to the Galveston fishing pier. Okay, like I said, we go there once a year, make our annual trip from the North Texas to the Texas coast, and we'll fish it hard for 5 days and have fun catching fish. So this is the Scorpion 17 BFS XG. It can handle 1/16 ounce, no problem. 1/32 ounce, I believe it can handle that as well. Just 1 gram is kind of tough. I've got it on a short rod. Let's see. And then this is the one I just got today. And this is the Scorpion, correction, this is the Shimano Curado BFS XG. Okay. And one's kind of silvery looking. The other one is kind of greenish, blackish looking. And I've only used this once today because it just came in today, and I've caught and released several bass with this. I've caught many fish with this one already, as well as trout. And I believe with this setup and a longer rod, I'll be ready to fish that pier using some live mullet. I'm going to practice with a 1/16 ounce lure and kind of go lighter as well as heavier. And then I'll probably get a hold of some minnows or maybe some other kind of small bait fish and try live lining, casting, and doing what I was doing at the coast in this video, and see if that'll at least get me ready for the next trip. Because hey, you got to practice. You know, it's practice. It's not fishing. I'm just practicing. Okay, at least that's what I tell my significant other. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I've been very happy with this. I'm looking forward to another trip and hopefully catching some of those trophy size fish. Okay, so let me shift back to the video and call it out if you see something that you want me to stop and talk about. I definitely will. And while that's going on, I'm going to shift over to some of the things that I used, or at least I want to call out if you are planning on fishing, let's say the Galveston fishing pier in this case, or maybe another fishing pier, saltwater fishing pier that may have some decent fish that you want to get. So we normally catch. I think the largest shark we've caught at the pier has been a 5-foot black tip 1 year. Other than that, it's normally 2, 3 foot, maybe 4 foot sharks, black tips, spinners, bonnet heads, as well as Atlantic sharpnose. And of that whole set, the bonnet head, long as they're 24 inches or more, and the black tip 24 inches or more, as well as the bonnet head, you'll be good to go. You can take them, go ahead and catch and cook them and have at it. Just the big takeaway is I would suggest bleeding them. So you cut it over there by the tail, let it bleed out, because you get that ammonia smell or as well as ammonia taste when you're cooking them. So once you bleed them out and get them on ice and then get them cleaned up wherever your destination is, you should have a nice piece of fillets out of that shark. And to me, they have pretty much the same consistency as well as taste of be it a swordfish or maybe well, it's got a white meat, and pretty much they're all meat once you get them filleted and everything, and you get a nice fillet. Out of this set, the fillet was yay big or so, and it worked out really well for one of my dinners that we had. Okay, but let me go ahead and call out some of the gear that we like using for these smaller size shark. Okay. So I've got the crimping gear and all that to put these together, but bottom line, let's see if I can show you. Okay, right here. There's two different colors. Okay, two different colors. One is orange and one is white. Okay, these are both 0.095 weed eater line. Okay, so same thing that you use when you're trimming the grass. You can also use it for making your shark leader. All right, I just go with a short leader for since we're not targeting anything big. I mean, we've handled the 5-foot shark, 4-foot shark, 3-foot shark, smaller sharks and whatnot. But you get a big one, it's gonna roll on you and you'll get cut off. But right here, this is about 2.5 feet long. Okay, and this works fine. I've got a crimp on both ends, one with a snap lock swivel, and then got a sliding rig right here so I can put my sinker on. Okay, pretty much it. Bear with me real quick. Let me see if I can clean it up a little. Let me grab one of them. Okay. Okay, and shift here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So it's tangled right now, but let me see if I can get it undone here so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Again, if you see anything, have a question and whatnot, definitely call it out. This is more of a open session. Nothing formal or anything here. We're just talking fishing. Let's talk fishing. Okay, so 0.095 line. Okay. And I've got crimps to make a loop on both ends. And one is holding a snap lock swivel. So it locks in place. The other one has a sort of a fish finder rig is what they call them. But I use them for putting to let it slide up and down the deal. Okay. Up and down. So here's the sliding rig right here, and it can just slide the length of it. Okay. And that's where I'll attach the sinker. Okay. And from there, okay, I will use, it's called Malin wire. It's basically a single strand stainless wire, and you secure the hook in place with a haywire twist, and then a barrel twist or whatever, two wraps of a barrel twist. This is it right here. Malin wire. Right there, Malin wire. Malin wire. Okay. And I'll do about 1.5 feet, maybe, yeah, about 1.5 feet of wire. And from there, I will see if I can get one out here without getting it too tangled. Here's one. And these are ones that were used this trip, so I'm going to end up tossing them because they do rust on you. But here we go. Here's one of them. Okay, so one end has a loop. Okay, haywire twist with some locking barrel twists. Right. And then this is an 8/0 hook right here. And let's see. This one's been bent a little, so we got something big with it. Or bigger. And again, another twist, haywire twist, and then some locking barrel twist or locking barrel deals. And that's it right there. And that'll go on the end of the snap swivel or snap lock. And this right here will bring you in some fish, be it shark or other fish, no problem. And we only had 2 break-offs, and the failures came from the abraded line. Yours truly should have probably replaced the line that was on the hook or on the reel well before the trip, but I was kind of being cheap, and I should have just went ahead and replaced it. Especially one of them that I know I had several abrasions on it from some catches as well as some bad casts where I kinked the line on it. So that was a lessons learned, and I've already replaced the line. It's got some fresh line on there, and it'll be ready again for next year. Because other than if I do any local lake casting in the surf, I tend not to fish those poles. I just kind of sit over here in the corner for most of the year, waiting for this trip that we always take every year to the Galveston. Right? Okay, I think that was everything I wanted to show you. Let me see. Yeah, so the big thing this next time I go, I'm gonna bring some umbrella shade, so you can bring an umbrella pop-up style shade. You can't bring your easy up style pop-up shelter. Gonna probably get a dolly, like the one that you use for moving heavy stuff. And I saw some rigs where they put the ice chest, some pole holders, and you're able to drag that instead of just carrying it. Because we have a Pier cart, but we only put a small ice chest for bait and drinks, and then our other gear. So there's not enough room to bring in just a normal size ice chest. And what we found is if we caught anything, we had to run all the way back down the pier to go and get it iced back at my truck and put the fish in the bigger ice chest we had there. So we bring a big ice chest, we bring a smaller, just a normal size ice chest that would fit easily on the dolly, and then we just even smaller one that fits inside the Pier cart itself that we're using. So I think we're going to do that next time. Yeah, and then I'm going to bring a cast net because I want some of that live mullet, just so I can do fishing under the lights like I'm showing here in the video. All right. Okay, so that was fishing under the lights in this case. Let me see if I can take you to this other video here. Let me Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna look for this other one that has the individual showing us some of the things he's doing to catch the fish. All right, so I'm shifting over. Bear with me. Commercials on right now, so let me go skip that. Okay, let me pause it. Okay. All right, here it is. And let me go ahead and get it playing. All right, and so what happened is I initially, after we caught 2 blacktip shark that were keeper size, this is the last night that we're gonna be there before we hit the road and come back to the North Texas area. So we're in Galveston, Texas, just about an hour away from Houston, and we're fishing. We've been there pretty much all day. I think we started at around 1 o'clock in the day, and it's about 3 a.m. now in the morning, more like 2 a.m. All right, and this individual, he's using a bait casting rod and 10-12 inch size mullet. Later on, he's going to go with the smaller fingerling mullet, but for these, he's purposely using these larger size mullet because there are some big speckled trout there. 20 plus inch or no problem. I believe there was one he was suggesting was maybe a 30 inch one. So I think there's some good stuff there. Oh wow, there's a bunch of chat comments here. I didn't even see it. All right, cool. All right. So anyways, he's explained to me some of the things. Let me see if I can listen in on it. Oh, I don't hear it. Okay. Here, let me go ahead and pop it back. Okay. I think I can. Okay. It's empty right now.
I got water.
Oh, okay.
You have to use the same water.
Okay. Right, I'm not sure if you're able to hear
that
this.
water.
So
They'll turn red.
turn on the
We just see the
audio.
cast, free lining a live mullet, finger mullet, into the water, and as you kind of bring it in, you watch for these shadows, and you'll see these big bruiser speckled trout come up and go for it. So we already saw one caught and released. Now we're going to see if we can get another one, or at least witness another one being caught and released. And the key here is there's at least 2 or 3 more of these big guys kind of hanging out in this surf zone area here at Galveston Fishing Pier in Texas. All right. Free lining live mullet, and we're just going to watch and call it out if we see one of these guys come up for the mullet. Let's see. And earlier we had a bunch of these little sand trout and whatnot under a popping court, fishing some shrimp. But it seems like that live mullet is the way to go. Okay, so there's another cast. Oh, there's another one. Okay.
Okay, and you can see that I think I got an echo. Okay, you can see that the he's using a larger size mullet. And he's...
All right, good stuff. And we'll see if another big one will hit. So far, I'd say that last one's about 20 plus inches, and the one that came and struck earlier on live lining some mullet was definitely bigger, about 25, 28 inches maybe. I don't know, maybe even bigger. It was big. What they're doing is they're live lining some mullet, finger mullet, into the shadowy area, and it's drifting in. Hi, hello, what's up? We're just checking things out here at Galveston Fishing Pier trying to fish under the lights, and we're watching these two individuals live lining some fingerling mullet, and they've caught some pretty nice size speckled trout so far, as well as some undersized speckled trout. There's a slot limit of 15 to 20 inches here. And we just see the cast back out there, and there's this one that has been coming up and just kind of looking at it and actually swiping at the mullet as it's brought through. Oh, wait a minute, no, that's not it. Okay, and we can just see it barely under the surface, but you'll see a big shadow come up and go for it. All right, and he's kind of working this area under the lights, starting from the shadowy area. Got anything yet? The individuals that we've been watching have caught multiple speckled trout, as well as a nice size trout that we ended up having to use the Pier net to bring it up over here. So it's a pretty good size one. All right, and that was a cotton released. And the technique here that they're using is live lining fingerling mullet. Okay. And let's just see if we can get another one of these big guys to hit. All right, it's pretty cool. And there's no weight, it's just the weight of the fish itself that's being used to cast, and you can see it kind of swim slowly in the surf, and underneath it, something big will come up and try gulping it. And there's been several hits and misses already. So, kind of missed the other one, but it's pretty good size. Oh, there's one looking at it right now. He's looking at it. Oh man, he came up right underneath it and looked at it. Good size mullet, or good size speckled trout. See if he comes back. Wow. All right. Yeah, this guy's big. Definitely over the slot limit that we have here in Texas. Okay, he's just kind of drifting it along in the surf, and then every once in a while something shadowy thing will come up and swipe at it. Something looking at it right now. Looks like a smaller one. Yeah, it was a smaller one. There's the mullet. Oh, let the mullet go. Let's see. Let's watch the mullet. Maybe something will swipe it. Okay. So pretty cool. We've done this before using croaker, but never at night using live mullet. We're mainly just using shrimp, live shrimp, dead shrimp, and whatnot, as well as these tandem rigs. Right now, I got one under a popping cork, but. Yeah, oh man, it was pretty exciting to see this. Not sure if they're going to keep at it or if they're going to move on to another location, but it's pretty cool watching these guys. For us, nothing earth-shattering from a speckled trout, sand trout standpoint. It's pretty much just kind of cast out, and we've been just letting the popping cork do its thing. But let's see if he rebaits and comes back. All right. But for now, I just got the little popping cork in the water, and I'm waiting for something to hit it. And when he takes it, he'll take the popping cork under. There's definitely some nice sized ones in here. And now I'm getting a hit, little hit. All right. Oh, he's gonna go and do it again here. All right. So live line. Mullet City shortly. Let's go check it out. Okay, so he's out in the shadow right now, bringing it in. The mullet is just under the surface. You'll get a glimpse of it as it comes up. And also, you'll get a glimpse. Oh, there he is now. It's coming down under the light now. Okay, little recast. Back out again. we're just kind of hanging out, checking out some live action here at the Galveston Fishing Pier. And over here, the time, oh shoot. Oh, I just lost my rig. All right, let's go switch it out then. Had a little difficulties earlier fishing and ended up losing our gear.
How his setup is 3 a.m. in the morning, so, and it's about 3 a.m. in the morning. It's about 3 a.m. in the morning, so let me kind of shift us over to that. Okay.
All right. Okay, and if you guys didn't see that, there was a nice sized speckled trout that was off to the left, to the left of the little fish they were using, or the bait that they were using. All right, and this is live lining for fish. All right, he's on the other side now. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you how we normally do this. And this is works better with live shrimp, but we can also use dead shrimp. And in this case, yours truly is gonna just take one of these dead shrimp that we have, put it on under a popping cork, and we're going to cast it out. And what we typically do since we
alrighty, someone's asking for a shout out. Okay, shout out Fishing with Stratton. Thanks you were able to join us today,
so that the bigger fish
alrighty,
will take it. So I'll just cast it out.
Shout out Fishing with Stratton. Thanks you were able to join us today.
I'll let the popping cork give an indication of the strike. Okay, there's something kind of playing with it now. It's taking it. There's a bunch of little guys in the mix here, so I'm hoping I can get like a little sand trout, and then soon after that, something bigger will hit it. So just kind of let it drift along. Definitely want some live mullet, and then you definitely want to try other live baits like live shrimp. You tear them up as well, but again, you got that slot limit now. Okay, so that'll definitely mess you up. All right, just got a little piece of shrimp left on this one. The other thing we do is we'll take fish bites. Okay, it's this thing right here. Okay, and see, where is he fishing at? We're at Galveston Fishing Pier in Galveston, Texas. Okay. And what I'll do is just take a piece of, excuse me, I gotta get some of this stuff out of the way. I just dropped. Okay. And I'll take a deal of it and.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is using normally what I do if I had a live shrimp. All right, but I only have dead shrimp. Okay, so what and I'm doing here is using normally what I do if I had a live shrimp. All right, but I only have dead shrimp at the time, and I end up catching some small. I think it's like sand trout. Let's see if I can skip it over. Something's playing with. Oh, he got off. All right. Okay. What I want to do is take it to the point where, yeah, there we go. Something's playing with. Oh, he got off. And explain what he's doing.
Oh man, he had one on.
Take it to
got
the
away.
Point where
have one on.
He's gonna talk.
All right, let's go cast our little popping cork back out again. Pretty exciting. Okay, and it's about a little bit past midnight. I think 12:20 right now. So let's just cast it out here and let's go and let our fish bite cruise through the oh, there's a hit. He's running with it. Huh? Sure. You getting ready to go?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So How many did you catch like that?
Big one? 2.
2? How big do you think they were?
24 and 26.
Wow.
But the one I wanted was the one that would have swallowed them both.
Yeah, he was big. I saw one come up, and then there was another one you were chasing out
The
there.
one that came up the first time
Yeah.
was about that big of a mouth. Looked
Oh,
like
wow.
a redfish.
Wow.
I mean, it was just massive. The mullet was this big.
Oh yeah. Wow. And those were all live mullet.
Live mullet. Big mullet.
Yeah.
Big mullet. Over 7-8 inches.
And you caught them with a cast net, or did you buy
I
them?
did.
Yeah.
They were all down there.
Okay. Yeah. We were here earlier this morning or today, and the mullet were all up and down, moving about. All right.
They were too big, but then when I saw the bigger trout, I'm like, you know what? Let me go catch a couple.
Okay.
See, they're chasing the small. Even I saw the big one.
Yeah.
Once it got off mine,
Yeah.
the small mullet would pass, and it would go after the small mullet. If
Okay.
you can get the small mullet out there,
Yeah.
you'll hook on a couple. They just want mullet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we were just coming over here to see if we can catch some sand trout, and I was standing here and I was like, hey, here's some fish, and then while I was sitting here, I saw the big guys come up. Like there were 5 of them that kept going back
Yep.
and forth, and I was like, holy cow!
So you didn't get to see the big one.
Oh, I saw the one. There was one right
Looked like a
here.
bull red.
Yeah, I thought it was a. What was it? Yeah, I thought it was either a bull red or a black drum. It looked like this. It was about that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came up
See, they're smacking. See, they're chasing that mullet.
right over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then I saw the one that went after your mullet out here a couple of times. How big do you think that one was?
24.
24?
25, yeah.
Okay.
Now the one that kept missing me, first time it came up 3 times and missed
Yeah.
it. The second time it just came up, circled it, chased it, and then gave up.
Wow.
That one was over 30.
So you fish here often?
Oh yeah, yes sir.
So is this normal to see the big ones like that
This time of year, yes.
this time of year?
They're
Okay.
about to start spawning. I mean, not spawning, mating.
Okay.
And they'll eventually the females, the bigger ones, will be with the males. you
Okay.
know. They'll swim side by side. At
All
that
right.
point, you can't catch them.
Okay.
They won't feed.
Now we saw somebody caught a bunch of Spanish mackerel this morning, and then one was a Jack Crevalle also.
Jack
But that doesn't normally run at this time of
When
year.
the water's really clean.
Okay. All right.
Fucking mullet up there.
Yeah.
That's what they want. If you can whip a mullet out there free line,
Yeah. And it has to be free line. You can't. Okay.
yeah, they'll see any metal, any mono on, I mean heavy mono, metal, any clips,
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
clip shots.
So no popping corks.
What happens with a popping cork is
Yeah.
with the current and the waves,
Okay.
when it moves the cork,
Yeah.
it'll move your bait sideways.
Oh,
So
and
when
it
your
doesn't
bait
look.
it doesn't move naturally,
I
so
see.
they won't hit it.
Yeah, because I saw it. It's just moving.
Yeah, it just kind of
Yeah.
unnaturally, so they won't go in. They're pretty picky.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've caught not big trout, but using little croaker, you know, back
Croaker's
in
good.
Corpus Christi when I grew up there, Port Aransas and
That's
all
where
that.
I'm from.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Corpus.
Yeah, I grew up in Beeville.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'd go to the coast and fish, and I would just grab these little fingerling mullet as well as the croaker, put a live line it and throw it under the lights.
That was it.
Yeah,
I
but I
remember-
never got anything big. It was always just, okay, a keeper.
Well, I remember fishing with my parents
Yeah.
all at night.
Oh yeah, so they're finally gonna fix it.
Are they really? They got the funding?
They got the funding. It's just gonna take a while,
Yeah,
but
it's gonna
yeah, that was
Probably
my
next
favorite. That was my favorite pier. It was much better than Horace Caldwell, I thought. You know,
Caldwell's pretty cool too. Though.
it's
The
but
right time of year.
it's different fish, I think, because
redfish. Caldwell, you
yeah.
it's better for red. This time of year, actually, July, August, it's
Yeah.
really good for. After the 4th, it's really good for reds.
Okay.
So they're even hitting. That's a ballyhoo, ain't it? That's one. No, that's a gar.
Okay.
So the ballyhoos look like gar,
Yeah.
and that's their favorite food.
Is it?
Ballyhoo.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's their favorite.
Okay. Yeah. So
Like
no,
candy to them.
So normally we were coming up here May, June, July, and around that time, and then
It's good trout season, but big trout are late in the year, August.
yeah,
August.
yeah.
End of
So
August, and then
when
it'll
we,
transition.
what was it,
over
about
to-
3 years ago? I think 3 years ago we
Yeah,
came here in
switched
August
to
because we wanted to miss the all the
black tip
people,
and
it
tourist
gets
season.
tourist season.
Yeah, yeah. August is good. You also get calmer winds. You'll get cleaner water.
Yeah.
And then once September hits, it's just all about slot reds. Just
Oh
red
wow,
tips.
slot reds in September. Okay. All right. Yeah. We came and we fished. We got several bull reds, black drum. We got some black tips and nothing like earlier in the year. So we're like,
Right.
yeah, we're gonna come in August now.
Yeah, usually the red run will coincide with dove season.
Oh, okay.
That's
Look at those mullet. They all just swam up.
Okay.
Just chasing
Right there.
them.
All right. Yeah, good news. I mean, it's good stuff.
Oh, that mullet coming up from the bottom.
All right.
That's about the size of mullet I was using.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we saw a bunch of them and this morning.
There's so many mullets today.
Saw that, and there was a ton of jellyfish, and then
Yeah,
it
jellyfish.
moved out further finally.
Yeah, but I got some mullet if you want to go get them. It's a good dozen or more. Maybe
Yeah?
a dozen.
Okay. Well, I mean, what? They're dead, so you just fish
No,
them
they're
dead.
alive.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
You want to try? We just gotta.
Sure.
All right, we'll try it. We just take
Not doing
take
it
everything
now.
off and just put a hook on.
Yeah, treble hook size. I would personally use a 6 or a 4.
A 6 or a 4.
But you can
Okay.
get away with an 8.
Okay. All right.
Something like that.
Oh wow, that's small.
That's too small. That's why I was missing those fish.
Oh, the big guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you?
That's why I was letting them eat it. But I don't like letting them eat it too long because you'll
Oh, they
gut 'em.
swallow 'em, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you hook them?
Just right. Make sure their mouths are open because a lot of people just go under the chin.
Okay.
Shuts their mouth. They
Okay.
They can't breathe.
So keep the
not
mouth
so much
open.
breathe, but you know
Okay.
what I mean. They
All
can't
right.
get any oxygen. So
Okay.
you want their mouths to open up. You go under the mouth and up the palate,
Okay.
or you can hook them in the back.
Okay.
Whatever.
And then you just
I
toss
like
it
the
out
mouth just because you can whip it, you
Okay.
know, and it won't tear out.
there. All right. Good. Good stuff.
Look at that. Ooh, big cow, bro, was chasing that mullet.
Oh wow. Nice.
You should be able to get a couple good ones with that mullet. It's enough.
All right. Cool. And how do you keep them alive in your live minnow?
Well,
Okay.
you have an extra bucket, you have an
Right
extra
here.
pump.
I just got to put water in it.
Is it empty?
It's empty right
I
now.
got water.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to use the same water.
Okay.
You can't put them in that water. They'll turn red and no fish will hit them.
They turn. Why do they turn red?
So if you change the salinity levels
Okay.
on the trout, on the mullet,
Okay.
if you go from, let's say you catch them in the ditch,
And you use your cast net to catch them, huh?
yes sir.
Nice.
So if you want mullet, it gets clean again and you want to come back,
Okay.
go down to the jetties, especially the one on 37. The
Okay.
ones that have concrete on, and those mullet are always swimming up and down the rocks. You'll see them off the rocks.
Oh
You
wow.
just cast at them.
Okay.
This was one cast earlier, right before the sun went down.
What size net do you use?
It's a 3/8 mesh.
Okay.
Mono.
What diameter?
I usually just mess around with a 4.
A 4. Wow.
That was
Okay.
a 5 though.
Okay. Yeah, he's got like a 7, and I've got a 3 and
Around the
a
rocks,
4.
you want to keep it small and simple.
Okay.
Just because if it sinks too fast and you get hung up, you lose an $80 net. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's it, bro.
I didn't know about the water. You have to keep it in the same
Same
water you
water.
caught it.
Yeah, if you change them out, salinity changes, they turn red,
Okay.
and then the trout won't hit it.
And you say red, like the skin gets red
Yeah,
looking,
they just get red bellies. And,
and
then when
the trout don't like it.
when the trout come up and look at it, they won't hit it.
Oh wow, that's good news. Good info, man.
I'm telling you, they're picky, bro.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
No problem, bro.
Great tips, man.
Have fun.
All right, thank you. All right, we got some great tips this round. I didn't know about kitchen mullet and keeping it in the same water that you caught it in, or it's going to turn red on you, and the trout don't like it. And then didn't know about with those trophy trout, you definitely don't want to use any hardware and whatnot. So no popping corks, nothing. And right here we've got a bait bucket, and we're just going to go ahead and put it in here and try catching some. And then 37th Street jetty sounds like there's a good opportunity if we want to catch any trout, or correction, mullet, for our yours truly to use for this similar setup. Sounds like we can do that. So let's see if we can catch something. I got a little net here. Okay. And we've got a popping cork, but we're going to take that off. And we're going to try this little hook. Kind of recap things in a follow-up video. What was that? Oh, okay. Man, you catch them. Or some mullet by the jetties, and he says use a 4-foot 3/8 inch mesh cast net. You don't want to go with a big one because you gotta throw it and bring it in quickly, or it'll get into the rocks. But you want to go to 37th Street jetty along that one and give it a try. So
Wind's blowing this, so I'm gonna set it down.
okay. Now I'm not sure how well we can cast these mullet with this spinning gear, but we may be able to free line it down here and to maybe get a keeper speckled trout or something.
Underhand them far enough.
So
Jerk it.
okay.
You know, it's not bass fishing.
All right.
You want to you'll feel a thump, and
Okay.
you'll see your line start to get tight as it's swimming away.
Okay.
You just want to give it a good, just a little
Okay. Yeah, I'm guilty of. I'll pull back.
bass fishing.
So last night, yeah, we were fishing that way, on the T head, and we had several strikes, and we had one where he took the line, and one of my rods, I didn't have new line on there, and it had a cut, and so it broke off. But another one had some fairly new line, and I went and cast this way on the T head toward shore, and I was using some whiting, and something took it, and it did this sound with the drag, because I had the reel clicker on. It was a zh, 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 and then it took off, but it wasn't a fast.
Red.
It just went slow.
Redfish.
It was a
Redfish
redfish.
is drum. Yeah.
Okay.
They just tug. They're so
Okay.
heavy that they don't like a trout will swim off. Usually when you get those tugs like that, it's just a red. It picks it
So-
up and then it just takes off.
So I'm finding them. I ended up at the end of the T head, and I'm getting ready because we caught a big stingray, and we used these rods, and oh yeah. So that's what he's talking about. These are the mullet that they were using, free lining, for these big speckled trout. One that went 27 inch, one that went 24 inch that he caught and released. And then he had one keeper, slot red. Here's one he's fishing underneath a popping cork, and he just caught, I don't know what he's using for bait, but it looks like a nice sand trout. Cool, nice sand trout. All right, excellent. What bait are you using? Live shrimp, nice. Okay. All right, so live shrimp. All right, any fish? Yes, sand trout and speckled trout under the light so far. And we're gonna caught like 40. This one, like I won't even. The stingray has that pumping action. He buries himself. We do this once. None of them wanted to bite. Just up. Oh yeah.
Yeah, valley, man.
With the
Zit.
yeah.
They have it. Gun.
There goes the mullet.
Oh.
Yeah, go.
Line and Oh, because they eat it?
They start stinging it,
Oh, do they?
picking at it.
Oh.
They paralyze you. I was undecisive on what inside their mouth up to the roof of their mouth.
Oops.
Let me see. What you do is you have to wait till they say ah.
Say, aw.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's the roof of the mouth.
Yeah. The palate
Okay.
up top.
And that allows them to breathe.
Right. Allows them to open. It's also the hardest part of the body,
Okay.
so it won't, it won't break out.
Okay. Wow. I don't know how you were
Yeah, whip it out
casting.
there.
You were casting with that bait caster.
It's all right. You can whip it.
All right.
It'll go out.
All right. Here it goes.
You have to go further left
Further left.
because of the wind. Yeah.
Oh. Let's give it a shot. Well, he swims fast.
Yeah, it's bad. That's why you see me throwing all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, someone chased it. It's already under the pier.
All right.
It was skid chase.
So how many caster?
Yeah.
Oh, look, something just came up.
The harder
Okay.
you whip them, the less chances of them lasting a long time.
Okay. And you're using a bait caster?
Yeah.
Oh, look, something just came up. Wave
Yeah,
took
I'm
it.
using a Tranks 150.
Okay.
I love that thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I took up bait finesse style fishing, the ultralight bait casting. And I'm able to cast with this Shimano that I got, Shimano the Scorpion. I can cast 1/16 ounce lures, no problem. Oh, he's looking at it.
Yeah.
He's right behind it.
Mullet will play dead too, so sometimes you gotta kind of just
Okay.
wiggle them just a little bit, keep them on it.
Wow, this is fun. Definitely different from what I did growing up. Okay, so into the waves.
Might have another cast or two left.
Okay,
If you give it more line, like right there,
okay,
you can whip it further.
all right.
There you go. About 2-3, about 3 feet. Now the wind ain't gonna let you do much. Hits it, you'll feel that.
Okay.
You'll flounder some.
But you fish it live, so
Yeah.
once he's dead or
Once you start
tired,
seeing a lot of that white,
okay.
it's time to change it. So go ahead. You still got about another cast or two.
Because I
I gotta shift it over to the other video. So this is where I end up losing. I gotta shift it over to the hot, or ran out of battery. So I gotta shift it over to the other video. So this is where I end up losing my phone because it got too hot, or ran out of battery. So I ended up having to stream from my GoPro. Let me go and grab that one real quick. Catching these guys. So the individual was just giving us a lot of information that we found, and it was pretty tasty. Other than that, we ended up getting a number of catching these guys. I ended up getting an 18-inch keeper size. Ended up cooking him. Before that, we were getting it was pretty tasty. Sand trout. Other than that, we ended up getting a number of smaller size speckled trout that we caught and released. Before that, we were getting just consistent sand trout. But no speckled trout. So at this point, I ended up learned from this individual and were able to use live mullet. It was a whole different ball game. What I then did to reconnect, I went ahead. At this point, I ended up getting, and then I went and disconnected from the live stream. I was able to get my phone connected to a battery. What I then did to reconnect, went ahead and shut that down, and then I went and streamed from my GoPro. So I was able to get my phone connected to a battery charger, and then wirelessly connect to the phone, or correction, the GoPro, and I was using the GoPro to being basically the hot spot. So I was using the GoPro to actually do the camera
slowly
versus the phone just now being basically the hot spot. So
Okay, so
here it is.
you take the mullet and make sure you hook them to the roof of the mouth,
Shift this over.
like so, like that, and then cast into the wind and allow the mullet to move slowly and free line it through the water. And some of the things that they also said to make sure you did was when you catch mullet, use the same water that you caught it in, or the belly will turn red on you. Well, let's recast that out. And when the belly turns red on you, the trout don't like it. Additionally, don't use popping corks, don't use any hardware. Basically, it's your line and the hook, and the fish will do the rest. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and live line it. Okay, and excuse me, I don't have any chat stuff I'm monitoring at this point because we're streaming from my GoPro via my phone. The phone speed died. Actually, my battery on my phone died down, so I'm having a live stream from my GoPro and charge my phone up using the hotspot there to feed, to do this feed. What I'm describing now is a technique that we use. So far we've gotten one 18-inch trout and two undersized trout. We're trying to get a limited trout, which is 3 15 to 20-inch slot speckled trout, and then of which one can be over 30 inches, so you can keep one trophy. So right now all we want to do is just see if we can get a limit. So I've got one right now, and I'm hoping that another one will come up here soon as the speckled trout come up into the shallows, into the light. Okay, so nothing there. I'm hoping that another round of mullet will come through again. Oh, I just saw some trout coming by. Let's try this again. Okay. All right, so there it is. I got the mullet moving slowly through the water. Okay. Don't see anything behind. Oh, something just swiped it. Oh man, had one swipe. Okay, see if he comes up behind it. Like, oh, there's one chasing it. Came up behind it. And he goes. Let's try this again. All right, so it's hit and miss, but basically you cast into the wind and let the trout drift, swim, do its thing, and hopefully the trout will come in and hit it. Okay, no, not that time. Okay, let's see if I can get over one. That wind is really taking it. Okay. Oh, he just took it. He just took it. He just took it. Ah, he had it. He had it. He had it in his mouth. Okay, it's drifting slowly, playing dead. Okay, I think this one's, oh, they're cast. Oh, nope. Yeah, he's gone. Very nice. We're using a size 6 treble hook. Hook through the roof of the mouth, not the bottom, not through both lips. So you kind of gotta let him say ah, is what he said. Say ah. Come on, come on, where are you? This guy don't want to talk. All right, bear with me. Okay, there we go. No. Okay, got it. Wow, that one didn't want to say ah. All right, and then you said to whip it into the waves toward the waves and then let it drift along and swim naturally. Okay, so I can see it swimming. There's one right behind it. He looked at it. Oh, he turned away. Let's try it again. Okay, back out. Okay, drift down there. Okay, one just took it. One just took it. Oh, he stole it. Stole the bait, man. The gentleman that gave him learned a wealth of knowledge and technique fishing with, and hopefully long enough to get us a limited trout. So we're 1 for 3 right now. I got 2 more to go. Got to be in that 15 to 20 limit or slot. And I'm free lining him. There's one that just took it. He's running. He's still running. All right, he's on. That's a shorty. Okay, so that one's not going to be 15 or within the 15-20 slot limit. So we're going to have to let him go. So let's get this hook out, because what you got to watch for is when the hard edge starts showing.
Okay, I'm gonna shift us back to the live stream. All right, so I just wanted to give you a little rundown on some of the lessons learned that we had when we went to the Galveston fishing. Okay, I'm gonna shift us back to the live stream. All right, so I just wanted to give you a little rundown on some of the lessons learned that we had when we went to the Galveston fishing pier this 2024 trip. So we do this every year. I've been doing this, I think, 15 years now, and this round learned about the live mullet technique, and well, got me another bait caster. I'm going to hopefully be able to be out there again, live lining some minnows, being able to cast them into the wind and catch a fish or two in that manner. Other than that, really appreciate y'all joining me today. It's been a real fun time being able to live stream and show you some of this live action stuff, especially when we're out on the pier. Now that we're back in North Texas, now that we're back in North Texas, I've been back to live streaming from the ponds and whatnot. So do check out the one today, live stream using the new BFS reel, the Corrado, Shimano Corrado BFS XG. That's the one that I got in preparation for being able to cast some live mullet and other, in this case, minnows for practice over the course of the next few months, if not year, in preparation for our next trip, which we'll plan on doing next year. If we're able to squeeze another run to the coast, we'll definitely do so. And if that's the case, I am bringing some live, or my cast net, my bait bucket, and doing some live mullet free lining. All right. So again, appreciate y'all joining today. We definitely enjoy your support and the